What's it going from kind of a run-heavy offense to more of the spread as an offensive lineman? What are the difficulties and challenges that come with that?
Well, we're big guys, and we're not huge fans of running a lot. So, of course, that's the first issue we have to tackle. But other than that, as an offensive lineman, the game doesn't really change much. In the trenches, the game stays the same. The box may be clearing up a little bit since we're spreading out the ball and they have to cover the receivers. But other than that, it's the same D lineman we're facing. It's the same. It's the SEC D lineman. All of them are phenomenal players, and as specific as offensive line play, maybe technique and a little bit changes, but in the end, you got to block the man in front of you.
Again, if you got any questions, just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll go back left over here.
You came into a program that was seemingly on an upward trajectory, finished strong in the year before you came onto campus, probably envisioned playing for championships by this time in your career, not starting with a new coach. So entering your senior year, how do you balance kind of that role as being a foundation layer for the long-term goals of the program with still wanting to obviously go out a winner in your final year?
I think that, our coaches in the previous staff wouldn't want us to just sit down and be sad about the whole situation. They all want the best from us, and they wanted us to attack every single day, and they wanted us to accept this new coaching staff. There's nothing we can do about what have happened. It's all in the past. All we can focus on is in the future. And I think if everyone on the team just focuses on the culture that Coach Morris has brought in here, I think we're going to have success. And it is going to be that same vision as me having championship time my senior year.
We'll go on the back row all the way here to the left.
Just throughout spring, how did you see the move to a 4-3 affect guys like Deshaun Harris and Dre Greenlaw?
I think those two guys are absolutely phenomenal linebackers. I'd personally say they're probably the best duo in the nation, especially in the SEC. And we have extremely good linebackers in the SEC. They've been playing so well in every different scheme they've been playing in. Being as an offensive lineman, this is my third year and third spring playing against those guys, and no matter what system you put them in, they're tough to catch and they're tough to block. But they're heading into their late end in their careers, and you can really see the maturity of them and how experienced they actually are.
Go right here in the front on the left.
Coming from Denmark, when was the first time that you really heard what Arkansas was and what drew you there ultimately?
Arkansas was my first offer. I never really knew about Arkansas until I was up in Ohio, and Coach B, he got the job down in Arkansas the year heading into the spring, my sophomore or junior year. And, I wanted to respect that they were the ones that first offered me. So me and my dad drove down there to Arkansas for a visit, and it was amazing. And it's all history from there.
We'll go right up here on the podium on the back left.
He's a guy on the opposite side of the ball, but he's also here today, Santos Ramirez. What can you say about his leadership that he brings to this team, welcoming in Chad Morris, and just what type of presence does he provide for that locker room?
Well, I think he's one of our guys with most playing experience. He's a veteran in the locker room. People look up to him. People listen to him when he speaks up, and it's very valuable. We have a bunch of guys on the defensive side. Dre's also here. We have Scuda as a linebacker. We have K-Rich as a defensive back. We have Ryan Pulley. The list goes on. We have a bunch of defensive players that all have had valuable playing time and have showed that they can play the game of football. And it's just extremely, extremely fortunate for us to head in with this new coaching staff, having those guys ready to buy into the program.
We'll go down here on the front left.
One of the first guys to go play at IMG when they started football. What drew you there, and what was that experience like, and why did you make that decision?
So I was an exchange student my sophomore year of high school, went back to Denmark my junior year. I had to come back as a boarding school. I couldn't go back as another exchange student. It's tough to get in the whole process, and I wouldn't know where I would need to go as a football team. So I was looking into boarding schools, and IMG stood out. It's an amazing school. So and I got in contact with them down there, and we figured things out, and it was a phenomenal experience. And IMG now it's more amazing now than it was when I was there, and it was an awesome experience.
Go to the camera platform, very back in the middle.
Hey, you guys are probably going to be picked 6th or 7th when the predictions come out on Thursday. Are people overlooking maybe some of the talent you guys do have coming back, even with this new coaching staff?
Well, I didn't expect them to predict us any way different. We were 4-8 last year. It is what it is. It's in the past, and everything that you guys are analyzing right now is that 4-8 team. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and that's what we know what's going on. We know what we have here at Arkansas, so we're expecting more than that. But honestly, I can't blame you guys for placing us at 7th or wherever we're placed. But it's going to be a completely different year this year.
We'll go to camera riser in the back towards the left.
Yes. What is your favorite Chad Morris saying? He has a lot of sayings that he's been saying in press conferences. Do you have a favorite?
There's so many. I don't even know if I can remember them all. I think it's just the way he says everything. He's super energetic. The whole hammer down. We got full tilt boogie. We got it all. We want to be the best. And I think it's just his whole demeanor and his culture. I think it's pretty hard to pinpoint one saying.
Can you do an impression?
Hey, man, we got to get in the left lane and hammer down. You can go full tilt boogie straight ahead, man. Come on. Love that Southern accent.
If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll go to the camera platform on the left side.
All right, kind of a two-parter, unrelated in a sense. How much did the baseball team success maybe kind of inspire you guys to be like, hey, we can make a run, improve some people, prove some doubters wrong? And you're a Denmark native. How much did you watch the World Cup this year?
I will admit I didn't watch the World Cup as much as I should have. When I finally watched the game, I felt a lot of pride into it because we did a lot better this year than we have in the past. But watching the College World Series in baseball, it was phenomenal. You know a bunch of the guys on the team, and you know how hard they work and what they do to get to that point. And you can see that it doesn't take much. It's only very few details that get you there, And they were really close to a national championship, and it is what it is now. But to get to that point is absolutely phenomenal. And I think they had a, so to speak, bad season the year prior, and they turned the whole thing around. And I think we have the same opportunity.
Go front row, right down here in the middle.
Coming from the offensive side of the ball, what's it like going against Randy Ramsey? And, how's his development been over the summer?
Well, Randy is a speed demon. It's tough to block him. It's tough to get your hands on him because you never really know what he's going to do. He's a very skilled guy in there. He sometimes comes into me in the trenches, but luckily he handles more of the tackles more than me. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Any other questions? We'll go camera platform right back in the dead center.
Being the leader of the offensive line now, how have you guys developed this summer and some of the guys that have stood out maybe this summer as you guys try to regroup with that offensive front?
I've really preached to try to get guys out of their comfort zone, trying to get guys to speak up more, correct each other. Just because I've had the experience or just because I've played a lot doesn't mean that I'm a perfect player. So if there's a sophomore or a redshirt freshman that looks at my technique and says, hey, you were kind of slacking there, or your first step wasn't too good, that means that he's growing as well. And I've really tried to make these guys try to coach each other, coach themselves, be ready to critique each other, because that's only going to make us better. Who stood out? We have a bunch of guys that stood out. The guys that's played before, B-Wall is doing some phenomenal job. Johnny Gibbs is moving well. One of the young guys, Dalton Wagner, is doing extremely well. There's a bunch of guys on the line that's really shining and standing out, and no position is set right now.
We'll go down here on the front to the left.
What's been your impression of Rakeem Boyd, and as he talked about what being on Last Chance he was like?
Say it again.
What's been your impression of the JUCO transfer, Rakeem Boyd, the new running back, and has he talked to y'all at all about what it was like being on Last Chance U?
I haven't really worked much with those guys. We're working as the offense and defensive line. We usually work in a group, so haven't really seen much of the new guys yet.